Roscommon Friary, we're here today. Such a beautiful place, steeped in Irish history. We're going to have a look at Felim O'Connor, High King of Ireland's tomb. And here we see the tomb of Felim O'Connor, King of Connaught, who founded Roscommon Priory in 1253, who died in 1265. The late 13th century effigy visible over the tomb chest shows Felim dressed in a long robe, holding a sceptre in his right hand. As you might be able to see there, might be able to see the sceptre in his right hand. Now it is decayed over time, but anyway, he's also holding a crucifix or requiem and apparently the tie of his cloak. Felim's hair is depicted as long and crowned with felerons can be seen around his head. The feet rest off what appears to be a dog. So you might be able to just make out his dog, his loyal dog, lying at his feet there. And also this effigy would have been a full meaning. Here's another look at the priory. The full meaning of those who feuded in the late 13th century, as Felim family seem to have gone to some trouble to portray him as having been a king of European stature. The carver, who had been English, was clearly familiar with contemporary European style artwork. You see the tomb frontal, which is wonderfully carved with figures of armed Gaelic warriors wearing light chain mail and conical helmets. Is clearly later, but being the 5th century in date, it is best interpreted as being part of another O'Connor tomb, possibly one located in the transept, which was moved to this location in relatively modern times. And we see also the upper arch over it. Here we have, it's a heavily restored in modern times. It's a fragment of medieval gravestone slab that was incorporated into this rear wall during the course of the work. So here we can see the beautiful stonework, and its 1891 depiction of the tomb shows the restoration work had already taken place by that date. It seems therefore the niche was built at some stage in the 19th century prior to 1981. And what a marvellous sight it is. See that there is a small map here inside the friary, and it does show you where you are, and it shows you some of the graves, it shows you some of the sites. The east window is restored, shows you the west window, and it tells you exactly where place were in situ back in the time. The side of the cloister and the nave and parts of the church. So very interesting, helpful map here in Roscommon Dominican Friary. We'll see a large piece of the abbey is still left, and what a structure this is. Can you imagine how large the windows were, letting in the light, which would have been a great feat of structural design for this abbey in the 1200s. You can see the stonework is absolutely amazing, and it's still standing there to test the time today. So what a feat of engineering, first time, part of Irish history. We can see that the abbey depicts old Celtic crosses. It has many gravestones here throughout. It has some magnificent artwork, or stonework I should say. You can imagine here there was a big stained glass window, mosaics in years gone by. Absolutely amazing feat of sculpture. Here we can see what looks like a holy fountain, a water fountain. This is absolutely marvellous here in Roscommon Friary. You can also see an engraving, and I can just about make it out. It says John James, who died 8th of July 1883, and he was aged 40 years of age. Lord have mercy on his soul. He would have been of great stature to be buried here, so close to the altar, where the altar would stand around here. And you'd have the light reflecting in the big window. So this is an important part of our Irish history. So I hope you enjoyed our small little tour just around Roscommon Friary and this history that is steeped in the last, well, not our last High King, but one of our High Kings, Felim O'Connor, is buried here.